That's it's similar to. It's just that this one was released, but I do know
Mm.
there's a movie like that with Nicolas Cage. I think it's the Superman. It's the Superman film. Oh, there's another film that's also. Oh no, the Justice League film. You know, there was a League film that was supposed to be released a while back,
Mm.
but it was such a
Mm.
disaster because of production and scheduling and everything and all of those people, all those things that they want to release a documentary about that because it was supposed to be released, but it
Yeah,
was like things just didn't work out, you know. I don't know if it was either Justice League or it was the Superman, what's this, Nicolas
I
Cage's
doubt
Superman,
the
right?
Nicolas Cage one, but I doubt that one. It sounds like more
Yeah.
like more like. But I don't know. I have to research that myself. That sounds interesting. Very interesting.
Yeah. No, I had no idea about that, but I think he did Reindeer Games after this.
Yes, yes, reindeer games, yes.
Now you
But
really spiked my interest. You spiked my interest about that. But I guess you know that's the thing about directors. Sometimes look, sometimes it's not their fault. Sometimes it's studio execs. I think
yeah,
when you look at people like Zack Snyder, for instance, sometimes it's actually the director just being too difficult.
mhm.
Sometimes it's just the script is just not that great. It's a lot of factors that could come to like sometimes it's the actors that are just becoming too dramatic, difficult to work with.
With the Zack Snyder, I kind of blame Hamada, the executive producer, executive
John Hamada.
of this. Yes, I feel like because he came in while that was all happening. He came in like in the middle of all of that, and
Mm.
he had his own ideas.
Wait,
And I
sorry, I think it's Walter Hamada, no? Not John Hamada.
think Walter Hamada, it's possible. Yes, I just know Hamada. I don't know the last name.
Yeah.
I think he came in, and I think a lot of things changed, and that really, because I think what happened was Zack Snyder's vision wasn't producing Avengers money. You know what I mean?
Yes.
It made like 800 million. Meanwhile, Avengers made like over one, and they were like, "That's not good enough." And I'm gonna say it. I'm a Snyder fan. I actually liked Superman of Steel. I agree there are problems with the other movies, absolutely, but I like the idea of they should have stuck with his vision until he finished Justice League, in my opinion.
I
And when you're done,
honestly think, yeah, I
yeah,
honestly think that Man of Steel is, still consider that to be the strongest
mm,
film throughout the
yes,
DCEU, in my opinion. I think even when
absolutely,
you watch it now, today, you still see the writing in that movie is really strong.
yes.
I don't think there's been any Superman live action movie that has
Mm,
had strong writing like that movie. Sure, there are some things that just don't make sense, like Kevin Costner dying. It was dumb, but
in
for the
terms of a
most part,
message, it made sense, but in terms of how he actually died, it made no fucking sense. I agree.
yeah, the idea was a good idea,
Yes,
but I don't
the
think it
execution,
was strong enough.
yes.
Yeah, it
But
was not
just
strong.
as we blame Zack Snyder, remember this, we all blame Zack Snyder for the third act of Wonder Woman 1, right? We were like, because remember he had a writing credit, they were like, oh no, Catherine Bigelow probably had an idea of making a nice ending, and then Zack Snyder probably messed it up. That's what everyone was saying at that time
Right,
when the first
right,
Wonder Woman came out. Because everyone
right,
was like, he was excellent except for that last bit. But what I'm
right.
saying is then they got rid of Zack Snyder, they let Catherine Bigelow do her own thing, and we got Wonder Woman 1984, which was a disaster.
Wait, you
So
mean Patty Jenkins?
oh, sorry. I'm thinking of Hurt Locker. That's Catherine Bigelow. Patty Jenkins is this one. You're right. Sorry, my bad. Patty
No problem.
Jenkins. Yeah, I think, in my opinion, anyway, because we don't know what's happening behind the scenes. But my point is, they should have let Zack Snyder finish the vision.
Right.
You know what I mean? He does the
Yeah.
Justice League movie. They do Flashpoint. His vision ends, and then you move on to the
Right.
next person. But
Yeah.
because they got scared, they changed Suicide Squad to a disaster. They
Right.
changed Justice League to a disaster. It was a clown show. I think
Mm, mm. And they're like, no, we're gonna get the guy who made Avengers work to come and do Justice League. Like you can tell that they were really trying to become the MCU, which is something you should not do, DC. You are not Marvel. And that's
yes,
why we love you. We love you because you are not Marvel. You know what I
yes.
mean? And also they rushed Zack Snyder because if you
Mhm.
think about it, I think Avengers was like what, the fifth movie that came out? I don't know.
Yes. It was like 10 years in the making, and then you got Avengers. They said Zack Snyder, you've got 15 minutes. You know what I
Dude,
mean?
it's like the third movie that's coming out because it was like what, Man of Steel, then is Batman v Superman.
Exactly. how do you kill Superman in the second movie? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Shows how rushed it was. How do you kill him in the second movie? That's
Yeah.
evidence. Let him do his vision. Give him 10 years or how many amount of years you your contract.
Yes.
And then when it ends, if it's the thing is, yeah, it was profitable. Yes, it didn't make 2 billion. Yes, it
It
made
was not supposed to.
Yeah, it was not supposed to. In fact, funny enough, what I like now, ironically, is what they're doing now with the whole lack of a vision thing, where every director is making their own separate universe movie.
Yeah.
That could actually work for DC.
They should have done that from the beginning, in my opinion.
Yes. Because what happens now is what Batman, what's Vengeance, what I made like 700 million, if I'm correct, right?
The Batman, I don't know. I don't know the figures. You could be right.
And Joker made over 1 billion. Right?
Yes.
It made more profit than Avengers 2. Endgame. It made more profit than that's crazy. So okay, that deserves a sequel. Batman deserves a sequel. Just keep it small. And then with all the stuff that it's getting its money back, then you make an Avengers movie.
Right. Okay, no, it didn't make it more than Endgame because Endgame made over 2 billion at the box office.
Not make more money, make more raw profit. Because remember, it cost them like 200 million to make the movie, and then another 200 million to do marketing. So the actual, remember, Joker was only 70, if I'm correct, 70 million budget,
right?
Between 50 and 70 million. Right. So 70 million to $1 billion. That margin is something that no one's ever seen before.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Oh, no, I get you. Yeah, that means Todd Phillips really made the money. And you see, that's the thing, which is, look, we're going to get to the movie, but we're still talking about this. There's just two things that I want to mention. This is the same strategy that you could say Kathleen Kennedy is using for Star Wars, but it's not working, right?
Yes. Yes.
Because it's the same strategy. But for some weird reason, with Warner Brothers, it seems to be working because, yes, you might say that the third act for Wonder Woman didn't work, but the first Wonder Woman was really good. Todd Phillips's Joker is really good.
Yes.
James Wan's Aquaman, I don't think it was that great, but it still made $1 billion at the box office. You know what I mean? And then you have, talking about this one just now, before the Joker, the Batman with Matt Reeves also did great. And we actually want the sequel from that movie, right? And speaking of Patty Jenkins, you know that she was supposed to write Thor: The Dark World, right? She was supposed to be directing that movie. And Natalie Portman left. That's why you don't see much of her in the second one. Actually, she left while they were still busy with it because the post-credit scene of Thor: The Dark World, she was replaced by Thor's wife to do the last part. And that's why you didn't see her until Love and Thunder with Taika Waititi. Taika Waititi had to convince her to come back.
Yeah, that's wild.
Yeah, because she didn't like what went down with Patty Jenkins leaving the project. And that's why I think Thor: The Dark World didn't work. It was a disaster. I don't remember who directed the movie, but yeah, there was a whole thing. So I think you and I should do like a special episode where we talk about behind the scenes drama.
Funny. Yeah, it's all about balance. If you let a director do his vision, sometimes you end up with a disaster. You end up with a problem, like with George Lucas and the prequels, you know what I mean? Where it wasn't as good as it should have been because no one was willing to say no to him. But because people were willing to say no to him in the first 3 movies, he ended up with a masterpiece. Right. So someone should have been there to say no. And I think there's this whole thing we need to talk about actually with Kevin Feige. And there's this guy that wrote a book, basically. He's basically the executive of Marvel. And he was saying there used to be a committee of people that were designed to say no to